Why the mother wound cuts so deep. This is about generational healing, identity, and reclaiming your worth. Why the wounds from your mother hurt so deep. This is Silent Screams Lost Strength. Welcome. We're going to explore why the mother's wounds run so deep now and why it shapes the identity and safety and how to be in a generational healing without blame. The mother-daughter relationship, psychology, breaking family cycles, breaking attachment wounds, reclaiming self-worth, trauma recovery. This podcast is emotional healing for women. So welcome back to Silent Screams Loud Strength. I am your host, Samantha. And today's topic is a tender one, where we talk about something that many women feel but struggle to name: the mother wound. Why does it cut so deep? Because your mother was your first relationship, the first voice, the first mirror of your value and safety. Before teachers, before friends, before partners, her eyes were the first place you looked to understand who you were. And when that mirror is cracked, even subtly, the fracture does not stay in childhood. It follows. So this episode is not about blame. It's about awareness. It's about generational healing. It's about reclaiming the parts of you that were never fully allowed to exist. If something stirred in you just hearing this topic, pause. That pause is awareness. And awareness is the beginning of healing. The mother as the first nervous system. From a psychological and biological perspective, the mother is not just a caregiver. She is regulation. In your early life, your nervous system does not know how to calm itself. It borrows calm. When she soothes your body, lends safety. When she is dysregulated, nervous, critical, absent, overwhelmed, or emotionally unavailable, your body lends unpredictability. This is not about revenging or anything like that of mothers. Many mothers were surviving their own unhealed traumas too while they tried to mother you. But the impact still lasts. In attachment psychology, your primary caregiver shapes your internal working model. I am safe. I am worthy. Is love stable or conditional? Do I have to earn connection? These questions do not live in your thoughts. They live in your body. The body remembers. And that is why mother's wound feels so painful. It's visceral. It doesn't feel like an opinion. It feels like survival. And the body clings to it. The mother-daughter mirror. In the mother-daughter relationship, something even more layered happens. You don't just receive care, you receive identity cues. You know, who you become, what she tolerated, what she silenced, how she shrunk or didn't. And unconsciously you ask, is that my future? Is that my limit? Is that my permission? Sometimes we see in our mothers who we could have become or who we are becoming. Sometimes we fear becoming them. And sometimes we grieve who they were never fully allowed to be. Maybe you were this strong one. Maybe you were the emotional caregiver. Maybe you were told you were too much, too sensitive, too ambitious, too loud, too quiet. Where your authentic self wasn't mirrored with warmth, you learnt and adopted instead of expression. That is why it hurts. Not because you hurt your mother, but because some part of you was never seen. It's not about blame. Let's say this clearly. This is not about blaming your mother. Blaming keeps you stuck in that reaction. Healing asks a different question. What was passed down that was never processed? Generational trauma doesn't mean dramatic events only. It can mean emotional suppression, shame around ambition, fear of men, silencing, anger, hyper-dependence, self-sacrifice, distinguishes as disguised as virtue. Your mother likely inherited her own survival patterns too. And survival patterns are not moral failures. They are adaptations. But you are allowed to outgrow what she survived. You are allowed to break the cycle without rejecting her humanity. Two things can exist at once. You can love your mother and still grieve what you didn't receive. That jaw awareness is maturity. So why it feels so deep? Why does it? The mother wounds cut deep because it attaches to your identity, your worth, your belonging, your safety, your femininity, your voice, your value. If your first mirror reflected criticism, comparisons, emotional inconsistency or absence, you may now struggle with it. You struggle with people pleasing, perfectionism, fear of visibility, chronic self-doubt over functioning, and difficulty receiving care. The wound whispers, you are not enough. You must perform. You must be good to be loved. But that voice is inherited. It is not truth. The pause you feel when this lands, that is your adult self noticing that that is not for you. So reclaiming what was never allowed, healing the mother wound is not about confrontation. It's about reclamation. Ask yourself, where did I shrink? Where did I silence myself? Where did I abandon my own needs to stay connected? Then gently begin reversing that pattern. Small acts, saying to yourself without explaining, wearing what you love, resting when you need to without guilt, speaking your opinion even if your voice shrinks. This is not rebellion. This is individualization. You are allowed to become someone your mother never had the chance to be. You are allowed to surpass the ceiling she lived under. That is not betrayal. That is evolution. And if grief comes up, let it. Grief is not disloyalty. Grief is truth moving through you. So, if something stirred in you while listening to this episode, pause. That pause is awareness, and awareness is power. And you are not broken. You are feeling, and this feeling is not dramatic. It needs to be acknowledged. So acknowledge it. You are not ungrateful for wanting more emotional safety. The mother wound is not proof that you are damaged. It is proof that you are conscious, and consciously. And consciousness is where cycle ends. Let me leave you with this. You are allowed to be who you were, never fully allowed to be. And that does not dishonor where you come from. It honors where you are going. This is silent screams, loud strength. And healing begins when we name what hurts without turning it into hatred. Take a breath. Stay gentle with yourself. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening.